and that's the thing right now. People are so mad, right, about where things are. But it's like, why weren't you mad 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Well, I wasn't old enough to be mad then. I'm going to talk a little bit. I have this thing. It's my kind of arc of a Lions fan, and it's really unique to Lions fans and Lions fandom, okay? It's because of all the losing and never having that win, never having that championship, right? Every other team and every other sport has really had that. The Lions just haven't in the championship era of the Super Bowl, right? And they just haven't had that. But I'll just kind of talk just normal kind of arc of a fan in the Lions world. You know, in the US, you're probably about 14, 15, 16 when you really start following the team. You follow them a little bit, but you really start getting interested, especially in the internet era. Around that time, you start talking to people and you're learning about football and you're really picking up on stuff, right? I find international fans are a little older. They're 20, 21 when it starts, but they all started at some point, right? And as you learn more, you make dumb comments sometimes and silly comments, but you learn and you learn and you learn and you start investing in the team. You get your first jersey, right? You're like, all right, I got, maybe it's a t-shirt the first time or a hat, right? But you get a little bit of Lions gear and you're like, okay. They get a win, whatever, something happens, or they have a bad year. You're like, oh, well, you know, it's the Lions. I love the underdog. We're going to really do it. And you get built up and you get sold on Patricia. Before that, you get sold on Caldwell, or you get sold on Calvin, or you get sold on Stafford, right? You have the one or two players that you really love. And then this coach is different. This coach is going to do it, right? And then they fail and you're like, oh, well, now, but look at the team. We're at a point now where we can really, we can take the next step. We got this new coach again, right? And you get to this point where now you've invested in some money. You've been to some games, right? You start really identifying as a Lions fan, and now you have that hope. And you know a little bit about football. So now you're doing a little teaching as well as just chatting in the different internet forums, right? You're getting to be more of a fan, more knowledgeable. You're really investing more. Maybe at some point towards the end of this, you've painted your basement and have the Lions recliner and the Lions bar set and the whole thing, right? You've gone all in. You're super Lions fan. Maybe you're the Twitter super fan or whatever, right? And it keeps going and you keep growing and you keep growing until something like right now happens, right? And then what happens is you shake out a bunch of people. It's like a stock market shakeout. You shake out a bunch of fans who finally, after 10 years or 15 years of this, becoming to this point where they're an elite fan, they feel like the team owes them something, because they've invested so much of themselves and their money into it, and the team just doesn't deliver. And they become that Uncle Eddie guy, right, that we've talked about before, who sits there at Thanksgiving. You're like, oh, I got to watch the Lions game when you're still a fan. That's you. Uncle Eddie's over there. Oh, Lions, they'll never be anything till the Ford sell them. Yeah, they always suck. I remember Barry Sanders. He was fun to watch, but they'll always be trash, right? That's that kind of attitude. The one that doesn't care, doesn't pay attention, just knows they're garbage, right? And people, because it's the Lions, and because they never win and have never won, this cycle keeps going and builds and destroys fans. And the team and the NFL has created all kinds of new fans out of young people. But what people haven't been talking about, and this is something that's happening right now, is you have a bubble in demographics. And that's in the kind of millennial Zoomer kind of right in between the two generations. You have a bubble of a lot of people. Well, a lot of millennials are going to get shook out right now because they're at the point where they're about to fall off the cliff to Uncle Eddie because they're tired of this crap from the Lions, right? And if they have another season or two like this, or the next coach is the one, you're going to shake out the rest of them, right? And then who are you replacing them with? It's like being in the ham radio club. And I'm not ripping on ham radio guys, right? I just don't I find it interesting in different uses, but I'm not part of the club. But every time I'd like try to learn something about like the specific uses I was looking for, it was always guys over 60, right? That were just it was no one young. I'm like, this club is dead in 3 years. Because there's no one, they're not going to recruit anybody, right? It's just not going to happen. You're going to find that with fans of a team like the Lions, because now your demographic bubble that was playing in your benefit is gone, and you're going to have fewer people to fill it out. They need to win. From an organizational standpoint, they need to win, or I believe the franchise and the NFL will look at it and say the franchise is now in trouble, and the NFL can't have a brand with a franchise that's doing that poorly. And you can see them move. You can see all kinds of things happen. But that's where we are. And I think what's happening right now with all the anger and everything that's going on, I think a lot of people are getting shook out right now. And it's just, they just want to vent the anger, and they're going to vent it. If you don't agree with them as to why the Lions suck and how bad they suck, then you're the enemy. And they're just going to take it out until they finally gas out, and they're going to disappear in the off season. And next year, a lot of them aren't going to come back, because they're at that end of that Lions cycle. So that's my Lions fan hype cycle. That's my theory, my hypothesis, whatever. We can test it out, but I'm telling you guys, this is what in my years, this is what I've seen and accomplished. And what saves somebody from being that Uncle Eddie and falling off the back end is having a little bit of a time to step back and say, okay, it's just another year. We're doing it again.
I feel so fortunate that my fandom was born out of the 2008 season. Like, that's like this is not new to me. This is what I expected when I got on board.
Yep.
So I don't know. I come at it from a little bit of a different perspective than maybe a lot of people do. But.
Yeah, and I'm at the point where I enjoy the Lions. I enjoy football. I'm still so happy that we have football going on. The Titans have what they're doing. That's a little bit, terrifying in its own way. But we actually have football right now, and that wasn't a sure thing 2 months ago. I'm so happy to have it. Are the Lions thinking? Well, yeah, because it's football season. But I can always hope. I spend money on the Lions. I go to their games. I fly to Detroit to go to the games. I do a podcast about them. Why? Because I like the team. I like the team. I know what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for the New England Patriots. There's a whole lot of Patriots fans that'll shake out in the next 6 years. You just watch. And Green Bay, once Aaron Rodgers is gone, you will see so many fewer over the course of the 5-6 years after he's gone. You'll see so many Green Bay jerseys disappear off the face of the earth. You can jump on a winning team. That's okay. Anybody can do that. But I believe in the city of Detroit. I believe in the Detroit Lions. I believe in the Pistons. I believe in the Tigers and the Red Wings because that's who I am. That's where I grow up, and that's my tribe. Win, lose, or draw, that's where I'm at, and that's who I'm with. You can be angry. You can be frustrated. Don't take it out on me. I like the Lions, and I'm mad that they didn't win, too. I'm mad that we have a coach that doesn't look like he's going to work out. But you know what? I'm still here. I'll be here next year because this is my team, win, lose, or otherwise. That's it.